Welcome back to Ignored.Logistics, everybody. Today we're going to be doing something a little different while we get enough footage for the next video for the JDM Spitfire project. Today we're going to be reviewing Evapo-Rust. Now, I've used Evapo-Rust before in the past, but I thought today it'd be interesting to compare how well fresh Evapo-Rust works versus heavily abused Evapo-Rust. Now, this particular gallon of Evapo-Rust has actually been inside of an engine with a blown head gasket. Now, what that means is that not only is it full of rust from the person running water through an iron block engine, it's also full of oil, coolant, and just whatever other contaminants were in there. So this stuff is pretty well used. And as you can see, it's sat for a while, it's been outside. This is some abused stuff. But I thought it would be interesting today to take this water pump from my old military truck sitting out front, and as you can see, it is just totally full of rust. So the plan today is to take this measuring cup and to place this in it like so, fill it about halfway full with the new stuff, let it do its job, drain it all, clean it all out, and then test the same thing on the other side with this old used Evapo-Rust that's probably not gonna work very well. But I really thought it'd be interesting to show just how far we can take the limits of the reusability of this product. First things first, we're going to go ahead and place this in here. And if I don't post any more videos after this, it's because my wife has probably murdered me for using her good measuring cups. So let's make this a good one, right? We're gonna take our good Evapo-Rust and we're gonna fill this about halfway. As you can see, it's still pretty clear. You can see through this. It's got kind of a greenish yellow tint to it, and we're just gonna let it sit. Alright, so it's been sitting in here a little while, and I'm not sure if it'll show on the camera, but I can actually see some of the surface rust on this bottom half is starting to go away. So I'll be curious to see what it looks like whenever we're finished. But like I said, I'm expecting pretty good results with this. We've had the water pump in the Evapo-Rust for several hours now. We're gonna go ahead and take this out now and have a look at it. Oh yeah, right away we can see there's a pretty obvious difference. Right where that line was, we don't have any more rust. Pretty much what I expected. There is a little bit of interesting like goop in here that I think will wash out pretty easily. But this is exactly what I expected to see. I've used this stuff before and it works great. What I'm curious about is what this other side's gonna look like when we're done with it. Now, as you can see, there is a lot more dirt and contaminants in this. But we're gonna go ahead and put that back in our other jug. This time with permission, I've got something for my wife. I wanna go ahead and run all this through a filter. I'd love to use a coffee filter, but I don't actually have one on hand right now. So we'll see how this does. We'll see if we get anything interesting in it, and we'll get this poured back in the jug. So I'm just gonna kinda shove this right in here, and we'll do our best. Actually, it's surprisingly clear. It almost looks like all of the crud has sunk to the bottom of it. So this may not end up being quite as dirty as I was thinking it would be. And honestly, I don't think I'm gonna pour that back in there. We'll leave it as is. It doesn't really look like I caught anything in the filter here, so that's kind of interesting. Now we're ready to take this other end, and we're gonna soak it in the super duper abused side. I'm gonna go ahead and pour in this super old, abused, oily, ruined Evapo-Rust, and let's see if it can do anything kind of similar to what the good stuff did. Oh yeah. Looks like I'm just pouring dirty oil into here. It'll have a little bit of overlap, but we should get a pretty good idea. We're gonna let that sit as well. The current time is 1:30, and I'll be back in a number of hours and have a look. It's been just over 3 hours since we set this in here, so we're gonna go ahead and take it out and have a look, and we're gonna find out if this ruined oil-looking Evapo-Rust will actually still work for anything. Yeah, that's pretty much what I expected. No real surprises there. It didn't do anything. It's totally ruined. I imagine that we could still dunk the rest of this into some good stuff if we wanted to clean it up, but I was curious if this needed to go in the trash or if I could still use it for anything, and I think that that pretty much gives us an answer. Thanks for tuning in today, guys. I hope that you've learned a little bit about Evapo-Rust, what it's good for, how long it can last, and apparently what kind of abuse it can't take. So be sure to like, subscribe if you want to see this sort of stuff. If you're interested in our JDM Spitfire or any of the other projects we've got going on, please check out our channel. We love the support. We've been blown away with how supportive everybody's been so far, and we look forward to making more videos for you.